question for today. Where is Hannah Kobayashi? The question remains a mystery as the missing woman's case is becoming more bizarre with every day, every single twist and turn. Los Angeles police just determined Hannah Kobayashi's case is now a voluntary missing person, almost 1 month after she was last seen on November 12th. Police say Kobayashi went missing when she flew from Hawaii to Los Angeles on November 8th, didn't get on her connecting flight to New York. Through video and eyewitness accounts, police were able to track her whereabouts from the 8th to November 12th, where she was seen on surveillance camera crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. Kobayashi's dad, who flew to L.A. to look for his daughter with search parties, was found dead on November 24th. Police say he took his own life. Now, despite police ending their investigation, Kobayashi's family says they are not going to stop looking for her. Joining me now is NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder. Tracy, it's always good to have you. So many things don't add up in this story, right? And they feel strange. You're former FBI, former CIA. What's your gut check tell you on this one?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, my gut tells me that this is someone that was probably in the midst of some kind of a mental break and in a way wanted to go missing. Now, whether she was cognizant of the fact that she really wanted to go missing or not, I'm not certain. And sort of the two things that really tell me that are the first, she made a Venmo transaction to two people on November 9th. And then on November 11th, she texted her friends or an acquaintance that she believed that she had been hacked by the deep state and that they had drained all of her funds.
Yeah, and I wanted to play a bit of sound because LAPD held a news conference talking about some possible motives as to why she disappeared. Take a quick listen and I'll get your take on the other side.
We then saw indications that there were some desires or posts that would be consistent in somebody who would have the desire to disconnect. Are we 100% right on that? We can't say, right? We just know that she did not have her phone after she left LAX.
Yeah, didn't have her phone. Tracy, how rare is it that a 30-year-old woman wants to just disconnect and get off the grid, start a new life? What's usually behind something like this?
You know, you're right, Markie. It is rare. Typically at that age that people tend to not, I guess, run away. That tends to be a little bit younger. But at the same time, we have no idea what she was dealing with. And there's something else I wanted to sort of clear up, if I may. There's been a lot of discussion that it was odd that she crossed at the San Ysidro border. That border is actually very, very common for people to cross on foot. I'm from around that area, and I have crossed many, many times. So this wasn't necessarily something dangerous that she did. In fact, I think that it was probably planned out. She had her passport with her.
Tragically, also, let's talk about, the father and all this, too. He was found dead by apparent suicide a couple Sundays back after being part of search parties for her. She didn't come forward following news of his death. Are you reading into that in any sort of way?
So in my opinion, actually, that is the most surprising part, really, quite frankly, out of all of this. Mr. Kobayashi's suicide is obviously tragic. And I think there was plenty of CCTV around where he took his own life to make that determination so quickly. But the fact that she didn't come forward is very, very surprising. I happened to actually be in this area, and it was heavily covered on the news, the suicide. I don't know where she was in Mexico at that point of time because she wouldn't have been there about 10 to 12 days by that point. So I'm not sure necessarily if she knows. And if she does know, I am very, very surprised that she hasn't attempted to make contact with her family.
Yeah, if her desire really was to get off the grid, maybe she really doesn't know about her dad's passing. Also, authorities the night before last issued that plot twist, right? She's now considered a voluntary missing person. At what point in investigations, Tracy, do authorities say, you know what, she's 30 years old. She has free will to do what she wants as an adult, and we have to stop using public resources in order to find her. At what point do you cut that off?
Sure, that's a great question. Really, after you have exhausted all of the immediate leads. So they have talked to anyone that they believe they saw in contact with her because they did see someone with her at a metro station in LA. They exhausted that lead and determined that she wasn't being held against her will. They looked at the camera footage of her crossing the border, saw that she probably was unaccompanied, didn't seem to be in distress, and then also through her digital data. I think that's when they made that determination.
And last quick question before I let you go. What's the biggest question you want answered or person you want to hear from right now in this case?
You know, I'd say the biggest person I want to hear from is actually Hannah. I would love for her to at least make contact with her family.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.